Nuclear weapons played an important role in the Cold War. By the early 1950s, international tensions rose as the United States and the Soviet Union competed in a nuclear arms race. This meant both sides built more and more missiles. The most dangerous Cold War dispute took place in Cuba, an island just 90 miles south of Florida. In 1959, Fidel Castro overthrew the dictatorship of the current Cuban leader. At first, Castro promised free elections and many reforms. Castro did not follow through with his promises, however, and soon declared Cuba a communist nation. He began accepting military aid from the Soviet Union. In October 1962, President Kennedy learned that the Soviets had placed long-range missiles in Cuba. The president immediately ordered the Navy to blockade Cuba until the Soviets removed the missiles. Kennedy also warned that the U.S. would launch a nuclear attack on the Soviets if they fired those missiles. This situation became known as the Cuban Missile Crisis. As the two superpowers grew closer to a nuclear war, the world held its breath for 5 days. Soviet leader Nikita Khrushchev ordered Soviet ships, many of which carried missiles, to continue on to Cuba. Shortly after President Kennedy's announcement, however, a few Soviet ships did turn back. Finally, the United States and the Soviet Union reached an agreement, and the remaining Soviet ships turned back. The Soviets later removed all their missiles from Cuba. More importantly, a nuclear war had been avoided. The outcome of the Cuban Missile Crisis contributed to Khrushchev's fall from power in 1964.